Welcome to the pod people.
Hey guys, welcome back.
This is Bev.
And this is Diz.
Hey, and this is that thing. What do we call it, Diz?
Trigger warning. Hey friends, welcome back. We're so happy to see you.
We can't see you, Diz. That's silly.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In my mind. I see them in my mind.
Yeah. Since we only have like 5 people that listen, I can probably imagine what they look like.
Yeah, thanks you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, you 5 are awesome. Thanks for coming back.
We appreciate you.
We do. Diz, it's your turn.
It is. I've got a story for you guys
Is
today.
it uplifting?
It actually sort of is. There's some sadness, but it is fairly nice.
Hey, do you have any trigger warnings, Diz?
We do talk a little bit about mental health type issues and child abandonment.
Why'd you laugh when you said that, Diz?
Because I was like, it's nothing too bad. Then I'm like, well, child abandonment's not great.
No, child abandonment's usually, it's bad.
But that's really it. There's no, like, dead bodies or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
I know, that's something new. I'm trying.
I know. You're going to try something new we're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so this is like a...
Not depressing people. Something new we're trying.
It's a... I don't even really know. I called it a mystery true crime, but it's really not. I guess it's more of a mystery.
It's a true mystery crime.
You'll see why here in a little while.
You will see why here in a little while, because Diz will tell you.
Yeah, because today I'm going to talk about Steve Carter and Marx Barnes.
Marx?
Marx.
Plural?
M-A-R-X.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right? Cool name.
That is actually a cool name.
So, first we're going to talk about Stephen Carter. Stephen Carter was born January 17th, 1977 in Hawaii.
Hawaii. He's a Capricorn.
He was born to Mark Barnes and Charlotte Moriarty, which is one of the coolest last names ever.
It is. It sounds familiar
Very
to
familiar.
Me. I might have learned about it in elementary school.
Right.
Watson.
You're so bad.
I know.
Okay, so Mark Barnes and Charlotte had met a year before on the beach in Hawaii, and he had moved there after serving in Vietnam and decided he wanted to stay in Hawaii, so he was there. One day, he's at his house. I think he was writing, I believe, and Charlotte and a friend of hers stopped and asked for directions, and they stayed with him and like chatted with him and everything, and the next day she moved in with him.
Oh my goodness.
So it was
That's what happens in Hawaii though. One day you're cavorting on the beach and the next day you're cavorting in the cabana.
In some random guy's house.
Yeah.
So their relationship is kind of crazy, kind of chaotic.
Well, yeah, it started out that way.
Charlotte is known at this time to just, like, if they're arguing, she'll just up and leave for like 3 or 4 days at a time. They were pretty much opposites in that respect, and she was definitely like this free spirit. So she would just be gone for a few days, and it wasn't out of the ordinary necessarily.
Okay.
So one morning, Charlotte and little Stephen go out for a walk. She's like taking him out for a little stroll. He's like a baby. And they never come back. The dad reports them missing. He spends the next year and a half going all over the island trying to find any sign of them. The only sign he ever was able to find was Stephen's stroller that was left near a bus stop the first day that they were missing. Period. That's it. That's weird. All he could find.
Do we know how far the bus stop was from their house?
It was like down the street. It wasn't super far.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, oh, it's right across the street here. It was a little bit of a ways.
So like she walked down to the bus stop and then took the bus like she was going to go
apparently
somewhere.
Right. Okay. So we find out that Charlotte ends up taking baby Stephen to a random person's house in Honolulu, gives them the name of Jane Amia for her and Tenzin Amia for the baby. So, not their real names.
Okay.
Stranger's house. She ends up getting put in a psychiatric hospital, and the baby who happens to be malnourished, is placed into like protective custody, protective care.
Was this right after they went missing?
Yes, fairly
Fairly soon after.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's in a psychiatric hospital. He's basically awarded the state for the most part.
But Dad doesn't know this.
No, Dad has no idea where they are.
Okay.
A few days later, she gets out of the psychiatric hospital and just disappears, and no one hears from her ever again. Period.
Okay.
Even to this day.
Unfortunately, that sounds like a psychiatric issue.
Right? So, because she gives false names, it's hard for them to be able to try to find any family members because they don't know what their actual names are.
Yeah, they can't connect her and this baby to the guy that reported as...
Right, because Amia is not the same as...
Moriarty.
Barnes and Moriarty. Yeah, Barnes is his name.
Yeah.
So, he officially becomes a ward of the state at this point because she's gone and there's no one else.
And they don't know if he has a dad that's alive or looking for him or anything.
And she told them that his dad was from Hawaii, so that he could be put in an orphanage.
Okay.
So he goes to an orphanage. Stephen goes to an orphanage, and no family really ever comes to find him because obviously no one's going to know he's there. Because they know him as Tenzin Amia.
Right.
And he was an infant at that time, so... He's there for 3 years.
Wow.
No one ever claims him. At 3.5, he is adopted by Stephen and Pat Carter. And this is because Stephen is stationed there in the army, and they want to start a family, and they meet this little boy. They go to the orphanage, and they're, trying to meet the children. So they really just love him. So then in September of 1980, he actually comes to live with them. And they go to southern New Jersey where they actually live. And his official name is William Stephen Tenzin Carter.
So they kept the Tenzin that they thought was his name.
Right. And Stephen.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen, I guess, for his dad.
Yeah, his adoptive father, but they didn't know that was his name.
All right, originally. So this is 1980 when he comes to, because he's out of the army, so they're moving back to New Jersey. And he comes September 23rd, 1980. And into their house in New Jersey, and that is where he lives. Okay, his whole rest of his childhood, his teenage years, and everything. He's happy. They're great. They love each other. That is his.
Does he
parents.
know he's adopted?
He does know that he's adopted.
Okay.
They never tried to hide that.
Okay.
So we're gonna fast forward to 2010.
Okay.
Okay. So I think he's about 34 years old at this point. Ish. And he's a salesman, and he's getting ready one morning to go to work, and he hears this story on CNN that's playing in the background, and then later again in his car he hears this story, which is interesting, about Carlina White, who had discovered she had been kidnapped from a hospital in Harlem, New York in 1987 because she went onto like this missing kids website.
Oh yeah, okay.
And she found out that she had been kidnapped.
That has got to be the most,
life-altering, turn you upside down, crazy.
Surreal moment to see your own baby picture or something.
Yeah. So, and she went, I think the website is missingkids.com. He hears this twice. He knows he's adopted. So he's like, maybe I'll just...
Maybe I'll say Mom and Dad stole me.
Yeah. So he decides to search for himself on the website, and he's scrolling, and he puts in like boy, Hawaii, like some keywords, and up pops a picture of him, like an age projected picture that looks just like he did when he was younger.
Holy crap!
Like it looked like him. It was
crazy.
Holy
crap!
So, under the picture, the name says Marx, Panama, Moriarty, Barnes. That is that person's name. So, he contacts Honolulu police. They begin investigating. In February of 2011, he takes a DNA test, and he waits weeks for the results, and then it's confirmed that he is William Stephen Tenzin Carter. he is actually Marx Panama Tenzin Barnes, born on January 17th, 1977. He is not Stephen Carter. He was born in Hawaii and he'd been missing for over 3 decades.
Holy crap. Was his biological dad still alive?
Mm-hmm. So he actually was able to make contact with a half-sister. Her name was Jennifer Monheimer. She lived with their dad in like Arizona, I think, and she knew she had a little brother. She was always wondering where he was.
Mm-hmm.
But she knew he was gone. So, and then his biological father, he got to talk to him too.
Wow.
Fantastic. His dad couldn't believe it, of course, because he spent 3 decades looking for them. So they talk and they have plans to meet up and everything. Unfortunately,
oh no.
Before he can meet his dad in person, his dad passes away.
Aww.
He had some substance abuse situations and problems, and it affected his health. And it also affected, I think, Stephen wanting to meet him because he was having. It was hard to have a relationship. Like, he wanted it, both sides did.
Right.
But there was just a lot going on, and then he passed away.
Oh.
But he got to talk to him, and it was great, and he was happy for that, and he still has his half-sister and his adopted parents. And so they do interview his dad for the story and everything. This was, I actually remember when this came out in the news and everything, because it was just crazy. His dad said that there were signs after Stephen was born that Charlotte had some psychiatric problems. He said, all right, this is a red flag, okay?
Okay.
After bringing Marx home from the hospital, she wore a blindfold day and night for 3 weeks, so I cared for him by myself.
Okay.
All right.
That seems a little strange.
It does. Kind of crazy.
A little bit weird.
So that is pretty much all I have on that. It was just a crazy situation. But I did want to talk a little bit about Carlina White, whose story he had heard that got him into looking up. So she was born July 15th of 1987. Her mom was Joy White and her dad was Carl Tyson. They have the baby. They have to bring her to the hospital because she has a high fever. And there had been like this kind of mystery woman hanging out the hospital, but she was like acting like she was a nurse and had been there for a few weeks. This is 1987. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm like, now it'd be like, no, get out of here.
Yeah, no kidding.
She ends up stealing her. She kidnaps her and takes her.
And I'm sorry, how old did you say Carlina was at this point?
I think she was 9 days old.
Oh, wow.
So she was born July 15th, and this was like the beginning of August. So maybe a couple of weeks, 19 days or something. Okay. So she was like maybe a month old. Probably not even a full month. So she's stolen. Mom and dad freaking out. They don't know where she is. The hospital doesn't know where she is. There's a $10,000 reward offered for any information that leads to them finding her and all that. They never hear anything. No sign of her, nothing. All right, so I looked up a timeline.
How absolutely terrifying.
She was 19 days old. So here's the timeline. On August 4th of 87, she's 19 days old and she's kidnapped from Harlem Hospital. The lady's name was Ann Petaway, and she was acting like a nurse. From the late 80s until 2010, she is raised by Anne in Connecticut and Georgia, unaware that she was abducted and kidnapped.
Was she under the impression that that was her biological mother, or was she under the impression she was adopted by her?
Biological mother, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think for a long time she had any inkling.
I just wonder if she'd been told that she was adopted or something when she was
really
a baby,
say that,
or
but I don't think so, because I think that was the whole thing. This woman wanted a baby, so it was like her baby.
So she made it,
Mm-hmm. So in the mid 2000s, Carlina begins to suspect that Anne is not her biological mother. I don't know why. I didn't really see anything about the specifics. And I'm not doing a deep dive into that story, so that's just what it said. And then in 2010, she contacts the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and begins a search about herself. And then in January of 2011, she is reunited with her biological parents, Joy and Carl. And then in July of 2012, Anne Pedway is sentenced to 12 years in prison for kidnapping.
Only 12 years.
Right?
They missed everything about that little baby's life.
They missed her entire childhood and
some of her adulthood. They missed all of her first steps, her first words, her
everything.
Kindergarten, her prom, her everything.
Yeah.
Because of this woman who was being selfish. And imagine their fear and not knowing if she was still alive or not.
And I think that not knowing is worse than...
Oh, absolutely.
Than when they do find out. Like, it does give them a closure because they at least know what has happened.
Right.
Like
but they're like, did we just not ever find the body of this 19-day-old baby? Yeah. Or is she still alive and someone actually is caring for her and taking care of her at least?
I wonder if this situation has caused the safety guards that they have in place.
Oh, I have no doubt.
If it was this particular, or if this is just one of many, I hate to say.
Yeah, I have no doubt, because when our nephew and niece and stuff were born in the early 2000s, there were alarms and things like that in the maternity ward.
Yes.
That you couldn't walk past without the alarm going off.
Well, I know. So, I had my daughter in 2012, and they had to scan the baby's little bracelet, even though it was around her ankle because she was so tiny, and everything. They would scan that, then they would scan mine.
Right, to make sure it matched you.
And then my husband had to have one too, because they had to make sure that he was supposed to be in that room as well.
Yeah.
But I appreciated that, because...
Of course, yeah.
Most moms are not in any condition to do anything if something happens at the beginning.
Yeah. And you would think that you would know your own baby, but they're all little, bald, just little lumps.
Yeah.
I mean,
and especially if it's something like this lady who's acting like a nurse.
Yeah.
Now, nowadays, they would know who's a nurse or not. Like, I'm sorry, you couldn't go in there. I really don't think.
Yeah, you get used to who your coworkers are, and if a new person transferred into the maternity ward,
and now
or
they
the
have to
neonatal ward or whatever,
key card in or whatever.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah, there's so much more security
1980s,
and stuff.
It's totally different, but luckily there's that kind of situation.
Yeah.
But just someone can't just go to the little nursery area and just take a baby, you know. But I'm sure it could still happen, because if someone wants it bad enough, they'll do it.
Well, and then they also, back in the 90s, they used to have the after-school specials and stuff, and they had the switched at birth stories and stuff. And that's
another thing.
That's another reason why they started doing the scanned ankles or not ankles themselves. They tattooed the babies.
Yeah, they totally gave them tattoos.
They tattooed them with a barcode so they know which one was which. But that's why they had the little scan system and stuff, because that was possible. Like I said,
possible then.
There aren't enough features, because like they don't have moles and freckles and things like that yet. They're just very similar looking. Most of them don't have a lot of hair growth and things like that. So
they all crying,
bald,
they all look the same when they cry.
Yeah, just scrunched up little mean looking faces, all wanting to eat something. So
all the time.
Yeah. So how are they supposed to know if that's Mama A or Mama B's baby?
I mean, because honestly, if the baby's not in like a pink or a blue, you don't know.
Yeah.
If the baby is a boy or a girl.
Right.
You have no clue for the most
part. They just have a diaper on.
Because it's just a baby at that point.
A little flesh bag.
So like you could end up with, I mean, if you know you had a girl and you end up with a boy, you're going to know the difference.
Yeah.
But it's like.
But it would be easy to swap out two girls or two boys.
Yeah. And especially if there's quite a few babies being delivered at one time or whatever.
And imagine if there were twins and you swapped out an identical twin and one, suddenly you went home with two girls, but as they got older, you realized your identical twins weren't twins anymore.
Yeah, especially if you know if they're identical. Yeah, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah. And with all the genetic testing and stuff now, you probably would know that ahead of time.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
That's the story I had. Short one today.
Yeah, but that's kind of crazy.
I just thought it was
That's
so
an
crazy.
interesting, though. Those are interesting stories, and it makes you wonder if... That actually makes me think of the twin thing, because there are the interesting stories about twins that don't know they have twins, but they feel like they sense something, and then when they find out they have a twin, like they have similar, like, they have wives with the same names.
Their names are the same. They've been named the same, even though they didn't have one.
Yeah, they were adopted by similar families. They have like houses that were built the same, or they have wives with the same names and names of kids the same. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they wear like the same outfits.
It's that whole nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, they lived two different families, possibly in very different economic locations and everything. And if they still have quite a few things similar, like that points to a nature thing instead of a nurture.
Yeah. And so it makes you wonder when a kid like that happens that he was the first kid that you were talking about, if he had been adopted by someone else, would he have had the same personality? Would he have looked it up? Would he have thought about it when he heard about the other girl's story? Would he have been like, oh, I'm curious, and looked it up? Was it just because of the people that adopted him and the way he was brought up that he was curious enough to look up his own story? Right. It's just interesting.
Well, so another interesting thing. So, his mom tells the people that his dad's Native Hawaiian and everything. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, he grows up thinking, well, I'm part Hawaiian, whatever. But he doesn't look it because he's blonde, blue-eyed, and pale skin. Uh-huh. And so his wife gets him like a DNA test thing that people do, and he's mostly Scandinavian. He finds out, and like zero Hawaiian or anything. So he's like, what the heck, She gave him that for Christmas one year, and then he starts getting interested in
genealogy,
and then he takes the actual DNA test, and they're like, yes, it matches with the baby from 1977, blah blah blah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so his wife, I think, kind of got.
I wonder when his mom gave him up to the orphanage. Obviously, she gave him the wrong name. Did she tell them his date of birth?
I have no idea.
Did she give him the accurate one? If she did,
did she know it? Did she even know what it was?
I mean, she wore a blindfold. Did she even look at a calendar?
I think he thinks that she ended up. It was either like he's pretty sure she's passed on. But he said either. Oh gosh, I can't remember where he said he thought she might have gone, or like to an Asian country. Oh. I don't know why. But that's what he was thinking. And he doesn't have any ill will towards her. He's like, she obviously had some mental health issues.
Yeah, she obviously did, but like she could have also just taken him back to his dad and then bebopped on out of his life.
I think he's just like, I'm thankful that I wasn't just left in a garbage can or on the side of a road. She at least took him into a stranger's house.
Yeah.
But at least he was able to get help and everything.
Yeah.
It's sad though. And of course it's like, well, I want to know where she is. What happened to her? Is she still alive? Is she better? Does she remember any of that time?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, if she had mental health issues anyway, and then postpartum, the depression and the
whole blindfold
stuff
thing
can happen.
That sounds like postpartum.
Yeah, that stuff can get really harsh anyway, and then you combine it with previous mental health issues, and
mine was bad, and you feel kind of crazy. You really and truly do.
Yeah.
And I don't think she had family there or anything. I don't know how she was there.
He was a pretty new baby, so she probably still was very much in the throes of postpartum depression.
And like a brand new newborn baby, too.
And some kind of psychosis or something.
Yeah. Anyway, so I feel bad for her for that. And his dad, because he was trying and his dad would have taken care of him. That's sad. That he missed out on his whole life.
But it sounds like his adoptive parents did take care of him, and they were still there for him, and they were happy for him that he found his biological dad.
And they were saying, no, we don't have plans on meeting his father, but we're not opposed to it.
Right.
We want them to have time to get together and whatever. And of course, that didn't happen.
Yeah, if they want to have a relationship, then that's up to them.
And I'm glad that they told him from the beginning that he was adopted.
Yeah, that would have been even harder if he had discovered that.
But he looked more like them. He didn't look Hawaiian. Yeah. And they were not. So, like, he fit. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like, that's clearly not your son kind of thing. But he knew from the beginning that he was adopted.
At home with them anyway, but
I'm glad he had a good family.
Yeah.
And they loved him and wanted a son. And
yeah, and then when his dad passed before he could actually meet him in person, at least he still had his family that he knew from a young age. And he at least got to talk to his dad. So he knew that his dad actually cared and was still looking for him all those years later.
Right, and hadn't tried not to give up.
Right.
And he has a half sister too, so he has siblings now. I don't know that they ever had any other kids.
Yeah.
His adopted parents. So now he has a sibling.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Aw.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the story of Stephen Carter / Marx Barnes.
Stephen Carter / Marx Barnes.
And Carlina White. Oh shoot, I forgot. I was gonna Nisi, I think was her name or something. I can't remember Carlina's other name. You know how like her. It was Stephen and Marx.
Was Carlina her name that the kidnapper called her?
I think so. Oh, just one moment. So Carlina is her actual name, given to her by her real biological parents.
Okay.
She was raised as Nedra Nettie Nance.
Well, that is...
Nettie, as in quotations, is like the nickname.
Right.
And she grew up in, like, Connecticut. Now, Anne...
I would definitely go back to mine.
Her first name was actually Annugetta, 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 and she went by Anne. And I was reading a little bit about her, and she had a very abusive upbringing. Caution. We will be speaking very shortly about abuse and violence. Since I've just added this.
Trigger warning.
But her mother would beat her with like belts and extension cords and stuff. Ew. And she kidnapped the baby because she wanted one so bad and had multiple miscarriages. Trigger warning. We will be talking about miscarriage.
Trigger warning. Diz talks about things backwards.
Yes, so sorry.
Okay, so
anyway, Carlina is her legal name.
She at least wanted to take care of the baby.
Yeah, and she did.
And she raised her. I get it. She just
the wrong
obviously,
way.
Yeah, she could have. I guess she couldn't adopt her because she obviously had issues. Maybe they wouldn't allow her to adopt a child, maybe because of her financial situation or her mental health issues or something. But
what's funny, not funny, ironic, she was only 45 miles away from her parents the whole time.
The whole time?
Because her parents were in New York.
Uh-huh.
And then Bridgeport, Connecticut's very short, close by.
Yeah, all of New England is like basically you just sneeze and you can be in another state.
She committed petty crimes throughout Carlina's childhood and ended up getting in trouble for those kinds of things. She embezzled some stuff when she was working. And anyway.
So she still struggled but I mean, I guess in her own way she still took care of her, but
yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna show Bev a picture of the kidnapper. She looks like she's had a rough time.
Yeah, she has had a hard life apparently, but well, and I feel like, I don't know because I haven't obviously read any of this story, but I feel like Carlina, probably a small part of her probably didn't even want her to go to jail. She probably kind of.
Carlina.
Oh wow, she's so cute.
She's beautiful, isn't she? Look at her little baby picture.
She probably felt in a way that she almost didn't want her to go to jail in a way. Like she probably was kind of like, just I'm not going to be part of your life anymore. So just But at the same time, she probably was kind of mad about taking her from her real family and not ever giving her that chance to know them.
Right. Well, and it's kind of crazy. The only reason they brought Carlina in, she had like 104 fever. Is because during her delivery, she had swallowed like amniotic fluid and stuff, and had an infection from it.
Oh, wow.
So they were like, well, her temperature, she's got a fever. They brought her in. They were giving her intravenous antibiotics, obviously, because she's a newborn.
Yeah.
And it's during shift change, and that's when Anne is able to get in and unhook her and take her. And a guard sees Anne leaving, but he said, I never saw a baby or anything around her. Because I'm like, I'm sure she was tiny. She's 19 days old. And they had some video footage, or they had video cameras, but they weren't working at the time.
And if that baby had an infection, she probably hadn't gained a lot of weight.
Right, and I'm sure
so
she's
tiny. Probably really tiny.
So it was around 2 a.m. when they would change shifts.
Wow.
And it says at 3:30, the guard says that's when she left, and it, like, the lady he saw leaving matched the description of Anne, who was also the lady that had been hanging around for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So she was just trying to find the right
moment, the right baby, the right moment.
Yeah, and she did. And this
was obviously very pre-planned.
This was the first known infant abduction from a New York hospital.
Huh.
Nobody wants that as their first.
Right. It's like, yay, we're number 1.
Anyway, so that's a little bit about.
Wow.
And that was just from Wikipedia, so that little bit that we were just talking about. So, but it was easier to.
Yeah.
To read it that way.
I mean, that's really an interesting story, and I'm sure there are more out there, but.
Oh, it just said she got 12 years in prison.
Uh-huh.
She was released after 9 2/3 years.
2/3 years. That's 9 2/3. That's an interesting number of years.
She was a teenager in 1977. Anne was, but I don't know much, whatever. I'm going to stop reading now. Anyway.
1977 is when the other kid was born.
Yeah.
That full circle.
What? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. What does Kevin Bacon have to do with it?
Kevin Bacon.
Everybody loves bacon. That's what it is.
Bacon. Okay, guys. Well, so that's the story of Stephen Carter, Marx Barnes, Carlina White, Nettie Nance.
Not Nettie Nance, because that's a terrible name.
Nedra.
No wonder she made sure to go back to her. I mean, I would have anyway, just because it was my birthday. But thank goodness her birthday was better than her.
Well, so
kidnapper's
the name is
given name.
Nejdra, but Nedra was the closest I could get that made sense in my brain.
Okay. But so still.
I'm going to pretend like it's part Spanish and the J is an H. That's what I'm doing.
It was from the kidnapper, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Can pronounce it
Carlina White.
Carlina is her real name, so it's okay.
Carlina Reyna, something. I don't remember. Carlina White, that's her name, guys. And that's the story. So, what do you guys think?
Hey, all 5 of you need to email us right now and tell us what you think.
And also, have you heard other stories of situations
like that?
Also,
I'll tell you a little secret. When I was growing up, I kept thinking I was adopted, and then I was like, no, I look like my sisters. There's no way.
That's true. All of that is true.
I think it was just wishing. I was hoping that I was adopted and that I was actually rich.
I was hoping you were adopted and rich then. No, I knew you were not adopted.
She's like, no, dang it, she's blood.
She's not rich either.
She's like, well, that's okay. I gotta love her, but I don't have to like her that much.
Shut up.
Okay, we're done with this crap.
All right, enough of this, guys.
Enough with this crap with these babies getting stole.
Hey, Beth.
Hey.
If they want to email us, what email should they use?
Oh, they don't. It's not an if. They have to. I just told them.
When they email us.
When you email us.
What email do they use?
You email us at triggerwarning411@gmail.com.
That's it. That's the one.
Yes. And if you ever drive again or walk in a parking lot, shout out to our friend Beth, what are you going to do when you do it?
Obviously, watch for deer.
Artlist.io.